Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
All protocols in law. I'm very delighted to welcome you all today. I'm very delighted to welcome you all to this event, especially our distinguished guests. Our distinguished guest speakers who are taking time off their busy schedules to join us. We are poised for NDC's victory. I want all my fellow comrades to remove any doubt about our victory from their minds. But to win, we must work very hard. We must overcome our challenges. We may have differences. We may have challenges. But the Ghana we want is bigger than all of us. That is why my colleagues and I have dedicated ourselves to converting votes for John and Jane and our parliamentary candidates in our respective constituencies. To my fellow students, do not be left out. Join our effort to make John Dramani Mohammed the next president of this country, to help us realize the Ghana we want. I thank you all and welcome you all to GIJ. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Samaha Mohammed. We can do more for her. Yeah. She's the 10th president here at GIJ. It's time to introduce our first speaker, who doubles as a female. She's doing well in the journalism industry. She's a former student here. Couldn't you applaud her for that? Of course, reading up her resume, it was evident that her relatively young life swells with hard work, practical and invaluable experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our first speaker, Madam Shamima Muslim.
Thank you very much. It just feels nostalgic to be back here. In fact, where you are sitting, that used to be my favorite seat when I was doing the guy, this one. Yes. In this same class when I was doing DEFCOM a couple of years back. So it feels really wonderful to be back. I can't start without a song. Please let's get up. Let's sing the national anthem. And then you top it up with you don't know the words of the anthem. I'm watching your mouth. You better sing. Arise Ghana youth. You don't know it. You know it, definitely. In 3, 2, 1, go. Arise Ghana youth. Energy. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. Energy. Thank you guys. Let's take our song and energize ourselves.
So before it starts, let's come. Those of you can sing. Arise,
Arise for Ghana, ye open doors of the land. Forward and for future, development our goal. From victory unto victory, the NDC shall live. Stable democracy, Ghana, our strength and unity.
That was lovely. So I think, they say I have 15 minutes. And I asked what I was supposed to talk about pieces. And they told me that the topic is what? Why we should be leaders, why young people should be leaders and politicians. Where's the man? That's the topic, isn't it? That's the topic in the letter. Why should the young people show interest in? When I was a student leader back in Legon, from 1999 to 2003, yes, I started Radio Universe level 100, I went into student politics level 100, I worked with Pesa White in the administration, I was their campaign organizer in Volta Hall, I became the deputy vice chair of Women's Commission my second year. Third year, I was a local mixed president and Volta Hall Assembly Senate representative in the SRC. So, Tain and Tescon were not there at the time. A couple of years later, partisan associations emerged on campus. Now, I've had a very mixed feeling about that because in principle, I feel the university is a vigorous platform where student interests should subsume every other thing. That we should not, the university is an academic platform where academic debates, robust academic debates, should be priority. So I had my own struggles when the sessions became more vibrant than the student representative councils. Because at that level, I think we should be sharpening our skills of advocacy. At the university level, we should be sharpening our... You would see that the era of vibrant student leadership is no more. And our students' representative elections have become so partisan that national politics is taking over the real student interest. That is a shame, I think. But it's an era that is here with us to stay. Yes. So for me, I think that it's an era that is organizing students to create viable options for them when they finish school and they want to transition into mainstream politics. Right. So I'm happy to see these numbers in this program today, which means that the political clubs are vibrant. Nowadays, when you organize an SRC program, you don't see many numbers. Please, am I lying?
It's true.
No, please, am I lying?
It's true.
So you agree with my premise that the political movements have become vibrant more than the student representative movement, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We move, not so. Right. So for me, this year is a very critical year. I have been an activist all my life. And I've always said that young people must never shy away from activism, from learning to speak out, to debate ideas, to demand better, to recognize what their own value is, and to assert their rights. That is the basic rights that every young person should be interested in. The unfortunate feeling today many people get is that young people feel disconnected from politics. Is it true generally that the debates we have on our social platforms, well, this is an era that actually empowers the young person in a way that was not there even a decade or two ago. Do you know that source of empowerment? What is it? What is that source of empowerment? In what ways do you think today's youth is more empowered to engage than the youth of yesteryear? Social media. If you think it is, be confident about it. Many people are thinking it, but you didn't want to say. Social media and the era of the internet and the era of the smartphone has given young people a power that many of us, even in our time, didn't necessarily tune into. It is how we use that power that will determine the progress of the communities that we find ourselves. And so I think my message today remind us again why we need to be involved. Why must we all be involved? Why must we be clear about our motives? So I'm going to ask you a question first, because for me everything is a workshop. I'm going to ask you to write 3 things that motivate you to want to be in politics. 3 things. Now, I want you to be honest. No answer is wrong. No motivation is wrong. Okay? I want you to honestly write those 3 things down. Whether you have a paper or your phone, take it and write those 3 things down. Your 3 motivations for joining team and by extension politics. 3 honest motivations. Honest motivations. Who wants to volunteer? Yes, sir. Your name and then.
My name is Osman. I joined TEN and for that matter NDC because I want to serve my mother Ghana, and I want to be. The second reason is that I also want to be the voice of the voiceless, the true representative of the people. Thank you.
And as you're doing that, what reward do you want for yourself?
I want to be remembered like one Nkrumah of Ghana
Why are you guys saying yay? Huh? People say goody. So goody is a strong motivator. It's a legitimate motivator. No problem.
My name is Idris Oton. As he also said, I was born into the party, but I was motivated by the former chief dancing minister who is disabled blind. So because of that, I said, why is it that a person who is disabled can do a lot of things? So that's also encouraging me to do.
He was born into it, and he saw someone who looked like him in it. And somebody also said that I also saw somebody who spoke in a way that I related to. Please, I hope you are following the signpost. Yes, ladies, yes.
My name is Ayariga from IL. What motivated me was that I wanted to be political leaders, great political leaders in the NDC, and from whom I can learn great values from, those who have great ideas that can change Mother Ghana, that can put Mother Ghana in a better position. And the second reason is to also serve my Mother Ghana.
For what in return?
I also want to be remembered as one of the greatest sisters of Ghana. Yeah, female.
There was another hand. And now, just
Okay, so apart from the fact that I was born into the party, my name is Beatrice Kumaya. So apart from the reason being the fact that I was born into the party, I think that it's time we change the narrative. For instance, when we look into our parliament right now, when we take into consideration the 275 constituencies, I think that the men are greater than the women. So I chose to be actively in politics, so I want to go actively into politics because I want to change the men narrative. I think that it is time that we feel the dominance of the women in parliament as well.
I agree with you.
Let's give ourselves a round of applause. So in this room are similar stories. I was also born into it. My father was a founding member of the NDC, the also North constituency. So that my first experience of politics or NDC was through that. I would later grow and open myself up into, remove myself from politics, and especially when I was in the media, I was strictly professional, even though I had those limits. From what you have told me this afternoon,
We are what we are because of our socialization. Many of us have been born into politics, just like many of us were born into our religions. That alone is a very strong primary motivator for many people to continue. The second issue I observed is that representation. The issue of representation is a very strong motivator. When people see people they can be inspired by, when people feel people who look like themselves, who are in certain positions or certain families, they are most likely to also sway into that direction. That is also a very important second motivator. There is a challenge when we all leave out our personal interests. So those of you who wrote the things you wrote, cross a line and then write self-actualization. Cross a line under it, the denominator self-actualization. And let us not pretend about the self-actualization and the things that will make us feel self-actualized. Let us not pretend about the motivations of security, of income, of status, because those truly are important triggers and motivators. However, what we must be minded about is the values with which we would seek that or those elements of our self-actualization. Please, are we together? Those who are not saying, are you sure you're a member of this family? Check, do we have some aliens amongst us? So what am I saying? We were born with it. It's a foundation. We were brought into it through inspiration, and we want to contribute our quota. But in doing that, we also require a reward. Some of us want to be remembered for our contribution. Some of us want to be remembered for what? Our impact. Some of us want to break new glass ceilings. These are all important motivators. So I'm going to take my message from one of the things that I relate to. You see, in Islam, people used to think that jihad is about fighting wars with swords. But our Imam told us that the greatest jihad is the jihad of self-example. Is the jihad of what? Self-example. A jihad of what? Self-example. You, all here, are NDC's jihad. How you represent the party here in this community. How you represent the party in your homes. How you represent the party to your friends is what will also do what? Draw people into the family. And to be able to do that, we must have a common sense of purpose. A common what? Sense of purpose. It's 4 years to a very critical election in the history of Ghana, the dynamics of which have never been seen before. It is new territory, it is new dynamics. A president who is out, who is seeking a return, a candidate who is finished an 8-year term and is seeking as a vice a position, the dynamics are new. So we are moving into a critical election, which means that we as actors, at least those of us who say we are agents of the great Atatamaso Pan family, we are the NDC's greatest resource. How we debate, how we communicate, how we express our frustrations publicly will either work for the interest of the party or against the party. Do you agree with me? So from here, from henceforth, I want all of us to move into that status that I am the NDC. Everywhere I go, I will speak speak it, I will show it, I will show the difference. Please, we are trying to deploy a retail campaign. It is how you convince people. Half of the time, the people you convince, you have never seen them before. Some are watching you from afar, like he watched some George from afar. There are people I have never seen in my life. From afar, they watched me, and they've honored me by giving their children's daughter's name to me. I don't know them. I get messages, I get comments. So you are the NDC. The victory of the NDC is dependent on you and the example and your willingness to propagate the correct message. This is not the time for infighting. This is not the time for fighting over territories. This is not the time to be picking on little mistakes of your leaders. This is the time for all of us to drop our ego. Say, drop that ego. Drop that ego. Drop that ego. Ego will not win you an election. Remember one leader who said, it is better to be a servant in a party in power than a chairperson. So, right, so drop that ego and adopt a team spirit, even as we prepare to wrestle power from the elephants. In the face of protection, an umbrella is always a better option than an elephant, not so? Yes. So I think that is just my key message to all of us. Time is fast spent, so I'm not going to be able to speak on the other things, but that is all I want to add for now. Let me leave you with this quote from Margaret Mead, that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. Let me also let you know, again, remind us that it is okay to have interests. It is okay to pursue those interests. It is okay to seek pathways to self-actualization. But as I read some time ago, anger is okay, but your behavior is not justified. So even as we pursue our interests, collective, sometimes it will be divergent, even as we seek to self-actualize, let us always be guided by the right values. And let us always instill in ourselves that sense of discipline, love for country, love for party, even as we pursue those interests. So that we don't, in the pursuit of our individual interests, over and above our collective, vision, destroy the party. Without the party, there is no you. You understand? So we must protect the party at all times so that a progressive party will spread the gains of progress equitably amongst all of us. I wish us all the best, even as we prepare to hit the ground running in the next coming days. Thank you for your kind attention as well.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we can do more for her. Oh, let's give her a round of applause. Let us please join us on stage and give her some inspirational words to play with. Oh, we can do more. We can do more for her.
Thank you very much. The Deputy Commander of the NDC Youth, Shamima Muslim, and other dignitaries on the high table. And to you, the special people, the future of the NDC, good evening. Ezu? Yes, sir. No. Ezu? Yes, sir. Ezu? Yes, sir. Ezu? Yes, sir. I'm here to talk about something that's very important. I believe that everyone up here is speaking from the perspective of the requirements of you as voters of the NDC, as the future of the NDC. I have chosen to speak on the side of you, your expectations, as future people whose party will be in government. Am I saying the right thing? Yes. I'll share a very short story. I our commander, day in, day out. If you follow him on Facebook, you see that he's traveling all around the country, mobilizing people, the youth, ensuring that the work of the NDC is executed. The story is this. He was my mate in university, in KNUST. And I can tell you that most of the people from KNUST students that graduated, that were looking for opportunities that the party could give them, did not benefit from them. But today we are not visiting the past. We are learning from the past. And what we are learning from the past is that let it not be said that in future you will finish GIJ and are looking for that platform to go forward. You are looking for that opportunity to thrive. You are looking for that scholarship. You are looking for that job. Let it never be said. And I stand here to speak, to tell you that under the leadership of Osman, if you believe in the leadership of Osman as is led by example over the past few years, take this from me, that under this NDC youth wing, it will never be said that students of GIJ, and not just here, students of the University of Ghana, students of KNUST, students all across this country, members of PEN will be abandoned. Never. Never. I mean it when I say never. This is the more reason why you must galvanize yourselves. Because this is an election that is about our future. Only today, the finance minister told Parliament that they have given exemptions of up to $11 billion. $11 billion tax exemptions to companies belonging to their friends and cronies.
Side chicks.
I can tell you one thing. Some people may choose to spend the resources of this country on their side chicks. Some will choose to spend it on giving exemptions to their cronies and friends. But under the next NDC government by John Mahama, it will never be said they are looking for that job and you are not getting it. It will never be said they are looking for that scholarship and you are not getting it. It will never be said you are looking for that opportunity and not getting it. So I expect all of us to rise up in our numbers. Every door that must be knocked, must be knocked. Every friend of yours that claims to say that, oh, in my family we are all NDC people, you must convince that friend.
Yes.
Because this is an election. Look, let me tell you, and I say that without mixing words. There are some opportunities you can never get without political power.
Amen.
So the choice is ours. We take a decision that will give us political powers and opportunities, or we fold our hands and allow certain people to progress over that. Let it never be said that this generation will be recorded in history as allowing the NPP to win power again. They have devastated this country for long, far too long. They have raped the resources of this country. They have stolen in quantities we have never seen. They have borrowed the most in the history of our country. And above all, they have been the most incompetent. I like to see what. How many of you speak over here? I want you all to repeat after me. Alaji Mekaria. Alaji Mekaria. Alaji Mekaria. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can do more for about 7 months. There is a member of the National Communications team. Thank you.
Comrade Commander Osman Ayariga. Madam, thank you everyone for today's invitation. As for me, anytime I return to GIJ, it is home. Because it is in this school that I joined the NDC. It is in this school that I served as your GA member. It is in this school that I served as on the Electoral Commission Committee. It is in this school that I became the SRC president. And it is from this school, that everything I have done since I left with NDC, I have been able to do. So anytime I'm back here, it is home. John Dumelo was invited for today's program, but as some of you may be aware, we're doing voter transfer, and the center is on the Joro campus. You know, GIJ is now in 2 constituencies. This campus is with colleague rotation, and then the other one is Osman. So, but it's a center where the voter transfer is ongoing. So we would have loved to be here, but due to that exercise, that's why I am representing you. More importantly, I've listened to all the speakers and fantastic delivery. But there is absolutely no election victory when you do not have a voter's ID card in an elections. You can hit all the doors, you can run all the campaigns, you can do all the street jamboree, everything you can do, but it is only those who cast votes in an elections that delivers an elections. And these elections, it is the future of the young people who is on the ballot. That is why when my brother asked how many of you have your voters ID card, and I saw just about 3 or 4 people raise their hands, please, you must not be a member of TAPE in the crucial elections 5 months to December 7th without your ID card. If you register somewhere else, the transfer will end tomorrow for students. The Electoral Commission has deliberately opened the transfer for you students and security people to be able to transfer your vote. During December 7th, all of you will be on campus, will be in session. That is why the Electoral Commission has decided to open the transfer for you students. So when you go to campus, hopefully tomorrow, please, if you vote in a different place and you want to transfer your vote, the center is there, just transfer your vote. From August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, there will be a mob exercise. Those of you who do not have ID card at all, please get the ID card. You need your ID card first before you can organize, before you can knock the doors, before you can run the campaign. There is no elections without voter ID card. It is only those who will cast votes and put ballot papers in the boxes that will deliver an elections. So for me, that is one of the most important things I need to draw your attention to. Another thing I want to say before I sit down is that none of you should be deceived that what the things you are doing here is useless. It's not. When we came to GIJ sometime in 2013, I was just walking around and then they wanted to elect class reps for General Assembly. So I contested and then ended up at the Student General Assembly. And the then GAP's president, the president of the Ghana Union of Professional Students, was a GIJ student. He and Noel met me at the GA based on my delivery and my participation, decided that they want to take me up to join the NDC, and that's how I became a member. It is through that exercise, that continued loyalty to the NDC and working with sacrifice, that today I am working with John Dimelo as a spokesperson. So what you people are doing is not useless. You will be recognized, and when the time comes, continue to be part and don't shy away at all. Even those in government that have spent so much money digging holes that they have been in cathedral are not shy. It is not those of us who have been in opposition for the past 8 years, who have been participated in their rot and how they have run the country down, that should be shy. When somebody tells you that NDC people are not intellectuals, and that those who are attracted to the NPP are the ones that look at the people who are lined up. Look at Shamima Muslim. Look what she has done in the media. Even her, she identified with the NDC. It is their party. It is their party that elects somebody like Stephen T. Compare him to compare the General Secretary to our General Secretary Fifi Koti. Compare the Deputy National Youth Organizers to the National Youth Organizer that the Deputy National Youth Organizers and see who should be shy away from doing politics in this country. They are the ones who should be shy. Be proud that you can identify yourself with the NDC. Be proud that you are NDC, and make sure you get your cards and you participate in the election so we can elect President Mahama on December 7th to take out these guys and correct the wrongs. Because it is only when we come to government that we can know the depth of the rot, that all the ones we are seeing, imagine that they are the ones in charge and we are seeing this. They are the ones in charge. They've tried to cover every other thing, but look at what we are seeing. Imagine that they are not in power and we are there. Imagine what we will see. So please, tomorrow those of you can go to campus, please go and transfer your votes. And those who do not have the card, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd August, get your voters ID card so we can all participate in the election. Thank you very much.
Alright, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Comrade Eugene Ishon Elliott to also give us some words of inspiration. A round of applause for him.
I'm happy. What the topic they gave was the role why we should get ourselves even involved in this whole politics. And I say that if you don't get involved, the foolish ones will get involved. They will choose leaders for you. They will take decisions for you. And at the end of the day, they will rule you. So please, get involved. And how do you get involved? You get involved by a lot of ways. Like my brother said, it's not about being on TV. It's not about being seen with big people. But in your own small way, I always tell people, whatever you are doing in your own small way, never think that people are not watching you. You will see that a time will come when people need a leader. Your friends, your classmates, your schoolmates will be the ones mentioning your names in the rooms where you are not there. Somebody will just say, oh, you say you need somebody to represent them. I know this lady. I don't even know her name, but I know I'll find her name for you. Based on what they saw you do. You know, in the Arab countries, they have free education all the way to the universities. And you know what started the Arab Spring? These guys, they go to school. Some have even 10 masters, but no job. Then this boy, Bouazizi, forgotten his full name. I think it's Mohammed Bouazizi or something. Bouazizi, yeah. I just no, I think it's Bouazizi or something. He, with all his masters, the degrees like a thermometer, he's not getting a job. He's selling something by the roadside, cabbage. And then the council people came to throw the things away. This guy, out of frustration, one guy, burnt himself. And that started an Arab Spring throughout the whole Arab states. And today, they have a better, even if it's not so good, at least it's better than what it was before. Have you seen what the Kenyans are doing? Sometimes it's time that the youth take up the mantle. Say, no, whatever decisions you are taking now. See, as you sit here, your mother is paying your fees. You are taking truck coming to school. But Nanando and his government, his appointees, they borrow so much waiting for you to come and pay. When you are not benefiting from it. When John Mahama and his people built the Terminal 3, Nanando, out of shame, he could not even commission it as we speak. But yet, his daughter is managing the restaurants, the port, the top there. The daughter is managing. Do you see Nanando's daughter doing his campaign? But she's the one managing it now. Just that have been part there for you to come and pay. When you finish school, you will suffer before you get a job. And when you get a job, you will have to go and pay those debts that are hidden in people's beds, under people's beds now. So please, there's a reason why you must get involved. In 2016, my brother was saying something. John Mama said something. He said, look, see the teacher training and the nursing training. The school can take, let's say, 1,000. But because of the allowance that is given to them, the school takes about 300 instead of the 1,000. So that they use the rest of the money to give to this as allowances for them. Now, when they finish school, they are unable to get jobs because there are no hospitals. There are no classrooms for students, the people to go and teach or go and attend to patients. So John Mama said, I'm completing a lot of hospitals. I'm completing a lot of schools. E-plus are all over. So this is what I'm going to do. Instead of the allowance, I'm going to take 1,000 students with no allowance. Go and be like the university people and take student loan. So that immediately you finish school, there's a job for you. Immediately you finish your practicals and everything, you enter into a job, you start working, and it's salary, you are gone. GIJ students, university students, we all kept quiet and allowed MPP to run propaganda. So they voted your mama out. Today, you know what they are doing now? They are paying, they said they are restoring the allowance. Now, what they are doing is that, so now they pick 300 again instead of 1,000. Now, when you finish school, the schools, they are unable to complete them, so the schools are in the bush, the hospitals are there. So now, when you finish school, there is no job for you. The few ones there, they say, come and write a licensure exams.
Thank you.
And the licensure exams is also open, very open, so you don't know what you do, no matter what you do, because there is no vacancy there, whatever you do, you will fail. Whatever you do, you will fail. So that they will have a reason why you are not employed. But around that time, we didn't get our students getting up to go on the street to defend what the president was doing now. And now we are suffering. So this time we have a chance. Please, you are not doing it for me. You are not doing it for him. You are not doing it for your father. You are doing it for your own future. That you are creating a future come December 7, or even before December 7. Your actions or inactions will determine how your future will be. See, even to the point that youth are so frustrated, they are running away from the country. Akufo-Addo has gone to all the embassies to say, why are people running too much? Stop giving visas. Stop giving visas. Because the more you are running away, who will pay the taxes? How wicked can the government be? So please stay. You are not taking membership. You are not just allowing yourself to become tame just because for the sake of it. But please show some action. I want to say this. You don't need cameras on you before you start working. As state executives, what I would want to see is that you put yourselves in groups. Even on school campuses, hold debates, hold workshops, talk to your friends. Let them see what is happening. John Mohamed's 24-hour policy. I was just telling somebody that what's so difficult about this? As a student who knows that in the next 3 years or 4 years you are out of school, why shouldn't you be interested in 24-hour economy policy? So that today, if they are employing 5 people with a 24-hour economy, there will be a 3-shift system, meaning they will now employ 15 people. Even if it doesn't affect you, it will affect your brother, it will affect your sister. So that your junior sister who's looking up to you, who is thinking that you will go and get money and for him to come and take from you, that one will be off because your mama has taken care of them. So on Saturdays, when you have, at least give yourself 2 hours. Go walk around Ringway, your residences. Go talking to people that please, for our future, vote your mama back into power. Ezu. And then when you do that, you go home feeling happy. You will next year, after January 2nd, you will be sitting in your room and you will be telling yourself, I contributed. I was part of those who made this dream true. So that it's not always like, it's them. So please, my brothers and sisters, I will entreat you. Be part of this revolution. This revolution, we are not going to spill blood. We are not going to crack people's head with stones. But we are going to use argument, positive argument, to get them to change. So that come December 7th, the Ghanaians will have true leadership. We shall have victory at the post. I've seen something happen. When we were doing the registration, some of your mates were brought in to come and register. When the queue was getting a bit chaotic and all that, some were passing comments like, we cry, please, that kind of mentality is gone. It's archaic now. If you fail to be part of the process, to get the right people into government. Last I was reading some joke, I don't know whether some of you have come across it. He says when we finish our tertiary education, those who get the first class, they become the professors and lecturers and all those ones. Then those who get second class, they become the businessmen, CEOs and all that. Then those who get the third class, they become politicians and they rule over the rest. They rule over the rest, they control all the rest. So, because, see, the problem we have is that our youth are so frustrated that they swallow everything and anything. To the point of somebody saying, we are looking for jobs for people's parents, so I will not get involved. That person, like my brother said, imagine someone like our project. Be your DC or your minister. How proud will you be? And some of us are being bought by money. Anytime I sit back, I ask myself, how can NDC win in Ayawaso West Ogun? And why do we lose in Ayawaso West Ogun? It's because of students like us. Because the MP gives us free Wi-Fi. Because the MP gives us bus. The MP gives us transport. The MP, so we go and vote for the same party. How is that able to change your future? So because of Wi-Fi, you went give your vote out because you were put in a bus and brought to an electoral center to come and register. You sell your 4 years of your life to a party. My sisters and brothers, I'm pleading with you. This time around me, I'm not coming to convince you why you should vote for them. But as Shamima said, a former president told us something. Or say she was sitting in Tuapa. She was sitting in not Tuapa. This time she was sitting in Nasisem. Thank you.
We can do more for him. We can do more. Mr. Agent Isham Gillions as the Police constituency. It's time for our own commander. You know the commander? You know the commander? Those who know commander knows him. Yes, it's time for our own commander. Our next speaker is Comrade Osman Ayariga, a man who's counted the cost, walked the talk, braved the odds, and has gathered a young positive impact. A round of applause for him. Yeah. He's coming to
if you are in this country and you are in this auditorium and you don't feel the hardship and the rate at which your money is being chopped, then you are not a Ghanaian. Then you are not part of us. Then in fact, you shouldn't be in this auditorium with us. First and foremost, I want to congratulate all of you here in Ghana who have taken time off your busy schedules on campus to join this program. Please, a round of applause. Although your program started later than the scheduled time, but of course, you are students, and we've all been students before, and we all know how some of these things work. So sometimes we can pardon you, but don't let it be a norm. As journalists, we should try to be there even before the news happens. Otherwise, by the time you realize, you'll get there after the news has already happened, and you won't have any news to tell or to give to your news agency or the company which you are working for. I know this is school of journalism, and about 80% of us will end up being journalists or working one way or the other in some media house, even a media house, but somewhere along the PR department of some institution or some international organization. So let's try to imbibe that spirit of coming early, not only for NDC program, but for every activity or program or everywhere or anywhere we find ourselves. If you are a student of GIJ coming out to play around media and you don't think that this current government is a threat to you, your existence, and your future, you need to really look at how you think. Under this government, the likes of Manasseh and Zuri have had to seek asylum in other countries because their own lives were at risk. They had to run all the way to South Africa. Not so. Yes. Under the NDC, Manasseh wrote so many things against the NDC. I think at the point he was even invited by His Excellency John Mahama to have a conversation with him to explain certain things to him. He was writing about him. That was a listening government. Unfortunately, he thought he could produce the same activities under the NPP. He had to run to South Africa. I remember another one, I call it Erasmus.
Ahmed Swali.
Kalekuda, yes. Kalekuda, just here at the police headquarters, he was brutalized. He was caned. He was whipped like a common criminal. What was his offense? He was just reporting. Our own Mohammed Swali, the member of parliament, threatens him. After a few days, he's no more. Which one of them was reporting the national security car park or something? Kalekuda. Yeah, so he had double portion. I mean, the names keep going and going. I believe if we are going to mention names of people who have gone through some fatalities under this government, we will not end now. Why? Yeah, so why are we having this conversation? I'm not just here to speak to you about NDC, but I'm here to let you understand that this election is not about NDC, it's about Ghanaians and the MP. And we all being Ghanaians, it's about our own existence, our own livelihood, and our own survival. I've told you between the two governments, if you're in this auditorium and you're not even an NDC member, I'm letting you understand under the two governments which of them is safer for you to even operate as a journalist. If you even decide not to be political, let's say you are not even an NDC member and you're in this auditorium, between these two governments, which of them will you feel comfortable operating as a journalist or as a PR person? The answer is in your hands. It's up to you whether you want to continue under a democratically elected dictator or you want to change and be part of a listening, peaceful, honest, accommodating government. The answer is in your hands. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that the youth form majority of the population. And this is going to be an election that will be driven by the youth. This will be an election that will be determined by the youth. And this is an election that the youth will be at the forefront of activities. So, once again, it's in your hands, whichever direction you choose to go. Choose this day whom you decide to vote for, and it will surely determine your future tomorrow. You have seen a government seen another government which is gathering unemployment, about 14.6%. That tells you that out of the numbers of graduates we have close to 1.3 million unemployed graduates. And even aside from that, we have close to 30-something% of underemployed graduates. What it means is that you are employed, but that employment is like you are not employed. Because you are employed. Let's say you are employed. You work at the ministries. You live in Adenta. Your salary is about 800 cedis. Even your lorry fare every day from Adenta to ministries and back is more than 800 cedis. We've not added your feeding every day. We've not added your accommodation. We've not added your clothing. So that is underemployment. So you are employed, but the mass, when you do the mass, it doesn't balance. That's where you do the formula, honorable subjects look about 010 or 001 or 1000, and the next day another one. You eat heavy. Now 000, then we end up in the church that we are fasting. This is fasting by default. You are not fasting because you want to fast. You are fasting because there's no food. You just have to add prayers to it and tell God that I'm fasting. This is where and how we find ourselves in this country. But the time is now. The time is right that you young people of this country, the youth of this country, by fair means, should be able to rise up and say what? Enough is enough. 8 years of stealing is enough. 8 years of Akufo-Addo and his MPP is enough. 8 years of corruption, 8 years of a minister hiding money under her bed is enough. 8 years of disrespect to our local authorities, our chiefs, is enough. 8 years of Samaproni is enough. 8 years of pajamas is enough. Enough is what? Enough. If you as youth of this country have not even come to the realization that enough is enough, trust me, we cannot change this country. Because it is going to be an election for the youth. Nobody will come and change this government for you if you do not rise up in your numbers. Hold your voters' ID card very dear to you. For the first time, in a very long time, we have a very incompetent flag bearer in the person of Mahmoud Bawumia, another incompetent and arrogant running mate in the person of Matthew Okoye. So incompetent, he couldn't even draw a doomsday timetable for himself to draw our own doomsday timetable. And very arrogant. Are these the kind of people you want as leaders? We all know the kind of hell we went through as students when Napo as our education minister. We all know, I don't need to remind you. Yes. We all know the disdain, the disrespect, the arrogance, the hunger. It was under Napo as education minister that parents had to go to the Independence Square together to go and look for, I think it was SHS posting or so. School placements, self-placements, even the small ministry they gave you, you couldn't manage. How then can you manage the whole country as crisis? That is how Mahmoud Bawumia deceived us. I have worked at the Bank of Ghana. I have worked at the Bank of Ghana. The money is there. We don't need to borrow. When the fundamentals are weak. Today, Bawumia has been exposed as a liar, a big thief. So the time is right. The grounds are fertile for us. I hear the wives wake up for every 3 days can build a 6-class shuttle. And I hear the bank can buy a Land Cruiser. That's what I heard. And the shoe too can fill this classroom with the next. That one I heard. Yes, maybe the women can verify. They know the makeup prices and the price of the bags. But most importantly, the MPP has deceived us as young people in Ghanaians. And they will come back with very huge, beautiful promises. They will come back with the monies that they have stolen. The monies they will come to share. Please, when they bring it, take it out. It is the normal transfer and the deductions that they are bringing back to you. It is our best tax. Our 10% best. That boys are trying to survive. Boys and girls. I hate to say this, the girls invest more than the boys. These days, the girls even have the odds more than the boys. So it is not just a thing for the boys. The girls are also blessed. It's not a bad thing. It is some form of investment. We must buy new hair. We must buy new bags. We must do our nails. We must do makeup. So why do they want to take 10% of our earnings? And that is why John Dramani Mahama says, once he assumes the office of president, the first thing that will go is that 10% of your base earnings. The next thing that will go is that outrageous, obnoxious, draconian These are taxes, not just these two, but many taxes that are choking the ordinary Ghanaian and decided to stifle growth. These are the things we need to watch out for. These are the things as students we need to watch out for. Surprisingly, as students, I don't see many of us getting engaged in the political activities. You do not need to be NDC to be involved in governance. I remember when we were students, at the time, Manasseh Abdul was the SRC president for this institution. If my memory serves me right. He was either NDC or MPP, but he wrote stories, he had columns used to write, and he spoke heavily against the government and this activity that were affecting young people in society. We are supposed to be PR, journalists, media experts. Some of us, or most of us here, are good at writing. You don't need to hold a position in the NDC before you can criticize government. You live in this country. You understand the hardship. When you go to the market, you buy. When you go out there, you also buy. You understand what it means for a crate of tomatoes to go from 1,200 cities to about 6,000 to 7,000. You understand what it means for 2-3 figures of plantain to move from our 3 cities to 12 cities. You understand what it means for peppers to move from 1 city to 5 cities. You understand what it means for okra to move from 1 city to 5 cities. You understand what it is for every village to 5 cities. So do not wait for we, the politicians, to come and speak before you step out. You are in the right place to criticize the government. Then you do not understand why the prices of goods and services keep going up. Go back. KK prices have gone up. The size of the KK hasn't changed, but the price of the KK has gone up. The quantity of petrol in the gallon has not increased, but the price of petrol has gone up. The fish has not increased in size, but the price of the fish has gone up. Chicken, we cannot even talk. We stop chewing chicken right now, we chew the back. That is the truth. Excuse me, but I remember times back when things were good, I have this foreign dog. And they said, oh, as for the foreign dog, only chew chicken back. So when it was okay, it was chewing chicken back. And now the dog is chewing curry. I cannot give you chicken back. When I go to the shop right now, it's so you give me the food, then they also get gift to the dog. That's hard. And then everybody, even the human being is happy and to the dog. It's just worse. I'll just take the dog to somewhere in the upper East Market, and it will become meat itself. Please, the idea for first day, let's understand. But also the Dakatis, when we finish giving the drugs to the farmers, we give the head to the Dakatis. So, wrapping up, it is time for us young people to get involved in our government. It is not enough for us to sit aloof and say we have left it for some people to govern or some people to do. My brother told you something. For wise people to sit down idle means the fools will govern us. And that is a wise thing. If you do not want to be governed by a fool, it is time for you to rise up as a wise person. If you do not even want to govern, but stand up as a wise person to select a wise and better leader for this country, and that wise and better leader is no other person than His Excellency John Dramani Mahama of the NDC. He has done it before. He will do it again, and he will save this country from where it is and where it is going. As young people, our best bet is to get John Dramani Mahama elected. And he has promised us that this will be the most youthful government. This will be the government that will seek the interest of the youth. And this will be a government that will not only develop the country, but to develop the capacities, the capabilities, and the talents of young people. I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. I think this year, this is my second time coming to this institution. I would love to see GIJ students take up the streets of Osu, Lotte, Kole, and campaign for the NDC, the presidential candidate, and also campaign for the parliamentary candidate. We have a very strong parliamentary candidate. Volunteer your time, even if it is 5 minutes or 20 minutes out of every day, to help in the street campaign. Help campaign for your parliamentary candidate. Not only also Lotte Kole, but you have your other campus too. That is Ayariga West. Wow. So if you are on that campus too, get involved. Get on board. For the first time in a very long time, the NDC, which is being led in that constituency by Honorable John Seto Dumelo, is going to win that constituency. So if you are on this campus or if you are on that campus, get involved. And my brother Philemon was trying to tell you something. This will not be. The current NDC will not be an NDC that will not look at giving opportunities to the youth. And of course, I say this without equivocation, I say this without fear, that whether you like it or not, when the NDC is in power, and you come to me, and you are a team member, and another person is not a team member, I'll pay attention to the team member first before I come to the team member. You can hold all the degrees, you can hold 10, 20 degrees. If a team president or a team member is agree with one system, I'll pay attention to that person first. People may say I'm not going to look at competence, but trust me, I always say loyalty over competence. You need to be loyal. You need to be loyal to the NDC. So please, let's take our activities seriously. Whatever it is, get involved. Whatever it is, make sure you have your name in that statement. Because tomorrow, you never know. That name of yours that was just written under the NDC may just be your savior. God richly bless all of you for your time.
Thank you very much, Comrade Osman Ayariga. Thank you very much. Please, we can do more for him. We can do more. We have in our midst Salon Augustine, who is the former state president. A round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. membership of pay is okay. So those people who join and see the general secretary. And also, I was going to appeal to Barrister Osman Ayariga. One jail will be coming to campus next semester, and we are going to be on him to bring jail. He was once a lecturer here, and he had to come back and lecture us. So please, my appeal to you, tell your friends, don't let it stay here. Tell them jail will be coming next semester. I promise you. Hold me responsible if I don't bring you. Thank you.
Madam Vice President, Queen of California.
Thank you very much, our dignitaries. We called on them and then they showed up. I want to say thank you to you as well. We called on you and you showed up. We want to say a very big thank you to God for this weather. It's been really non-stop, especially yesterday, but then today being the day of our event, I think the weather was good enough for us. And we want to say very big thank you to God. The people that we invited, Barrister and are people from Polyclothing. We just want to say that we appreciate you and then we pray that anytime we call on you, you respond to our call. And to you, our comrades, we just want to say that we love you so much and then you are so amazing. Don't worry, you are in the test and it's fully assured. And then thank you. When we call on you once again, please respond to the call. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Once for double is going to give us the proceedings. Please calm down your horses.
Sure, definitely you get that success. So, for those who are registering, yes, for the team membership, you also have to get your team card as well. And then with that one, it is an online process because you have to get a national team card. I would like to take you for time's sake. We are going to create groups for all of you, and then we'll take you through how to get your team cards. Now, I want to leave you with this. In as much as we are charged as the youth to champion the campaign, let's not forget our mothers and our grandmothers. Why? Because last week Friday, when I went home, I think around 7-8 p.m., I saw a group of old women, like 60-70 years. They were all in red. Then I was inside. I lived in the doctor's flat at the Balboa Teaching Hospital. And then I heard a knock. And when I came out, I saw these old women around 60-70. And they were in Baumia t-shirts. And their message was, look at us, your grandmothers, and vote for Baumia. Yes. I mean, it works. That is a strategy, an emotional appeal. Then it drew my mind back and I decided to ask them, oh, why should I? Also, look at us. Today we can't even buy anything in the market. And then my mind was asked, so who is the one in that room? I couldn't answer. So then that tells me that we forget them at home, we run outside and campaign, forgetting that they also have a vote. So let's also educate our mothers. They are doing that because they think they are doing it for us, their grandchildren. But we should also let them know what our interest is. We understand the things better. So educate your mother that for what is happening, I think this one is better than this one. So that you won't well vote for somebody and then your grandmother who is always one of the most benefits will vote for another person. It will come back and hurt you. So don't only campaign to your youth people, campaign at home, educate your parents as well, especially the market women. Why do I even say this? Recently they carry out a parody elections. If you follow social media, they go to the market to do certain elections and then always Baumia wins. Always Baumia wins. Why? Because those people in the market are
Ooh, baby, God have mercy upon us. I know you. Ooh, baby. If you give me thousands of Ghana cards and $1 I will choose the dollar. Hey, to be mumu. Campaign at Tokyo. It is smoky book. Oh, baby, Oni kwa kutia, mu baby, Odoye, mu baby, Oni kwa kutia, mu baby, Odo, working right, dear.
Kano cry, Otrofo, Odo, you want me to do more? Okraman Ferso Besuvini, yes, you are dear, grow better so. Shame on you. Abaya the board, Tati, yeah, the baby board, band baby. Sana will be Miami. You can lie your way to power. You can do all propaganda. Dollar rate will expose you. The dollar has broken jail. You are pathological liar. You lie for living. Lies are your hobby. Google and Wikipedia recognize you as a liar. Your talent is to lie. You promised me heaven and earth. You promised me the whole universe. None of them has been fulfilled. You said if I give you power, I will live like in heaven. Look at the way I'm suffering. What do you trouble on mine? What trouble my own? Oh, mambo 40 so. Oda, working track, dear. Oda, working track, Kano cry, Otrofo, you want me to say more? I have something to tell you. Sit down and cast your mind back. You see how you destroyed yourself. People see you as a joker. They see you as comedian. People see you like Mr. Ibu. They see you like Lewin. So Dr. Lies, change your ways. As someone me can watch you now. Dr. Lies, change your ways so your judgment day is coming. What ya na? What ya futu amede mauno? What ya na? Sisa wakwane bebuawo. What ya na? Enya uhosa uyo nyansafuo. Kwa kutia no bro na wampa wasam. Ode oye na juma keke mido. Makasa yue owa swantie mi. So far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.